Jamshedpur. I carried one book with me to read on the journey.
Google?
Yes, the overcoat.
Well, let's now talk about the films that introduced you to an American and international audience. 2007 was obviously a busy year for you. Namesake, directed by Mira Nair, who claims to have discovered you. This was a film that meant a lot to you.
And so I was waiting for that kind of storytelling where I could be part of that kind of storytelling, and that's where Namesake suddenly came, and it gave me an experience which I was looking for.
That then led to A Mighty Heart, which of course is the story about the kidnapping and murder of US journalist Daniel Pearl. You worked opposite Angelina Jolie as the head of a Pakistani anti-terrorism unit. That obviously at that time was a very important story to tell. It was very, very interesting story and very important story. And Michael Winterbottom, he met me and he just gave me the book. And when I read the book, it's just a very, very courageous, brave book. And written by Daniel Pearl's wife.
Yeah, Daniel Pearl's wife. But it was a very unfortunate incident. It is a very dark incident, and that gave me insight to our neighboring country because I was doing research. And that film made me realize what kind of politics or what kind of, how that country is being run. Pakistan. So, and the working, the way Winterbottom was approaching, the way he tells a story, it's a lot of improvisation is there. I have to do a thorough preparation for that.
Were there any issues as an Indian playing a Pakistani?
No. It's because I like that character. It could have been Pakistani, it could have been Ugandan, whatever, It could have been from any other country. It's what he was doing and what was his function and how he approached and how he dealt with that situation. That was very interesting for me.
2008, you star in Slumdog Millionaire, and that certainly catapults you onto the international stage. Tell me, how did that film change your career?
I don't know how it changed. I don't know, but that film was never. It was when we were shooting that film. It was a small film. It was never supposed to be that blockbuster. But there were elements in the film which were indicating that this will be a popular film, and also Danny Boyle's approach. So he had that clarity. He knew that I'm making a audience-pleasing film, where there's a lot of darkness in the film, but definitely the film is going to please audience, and that's what he did. And for me, working in that film was more, it's memorable to watch Danny working. That was great.
Were you amazed by the success of the film?
Somehow I had a feeling that it would be very, very popular. But I never knew that it's going to be popular worldwide in that, such a big way, and the Oscars and things like that. And this film was, celebratory. It was, rags to riches story, and making me feel good. You
were also cast for The Amazing Spider-Man, where you played a villain, and the director Mark Webb said that he watched you in other films, and that he was
Namesake,
Namesake, exactly, and that he was transfixed by your performance.
Yeah, Mark is a very, he's a special man, and I enjoyed working with him, and the way he was creating atmosphere for other actors as well, and he's a very pleasing person. I was not a huge fan of Spider-Man. I never used to watch a lot of them. I watched one, I think, but that experience working with the director and seeing such a big franchise, how it takes shape and what's how it's being done. So that was an experience.
Well, that leads us to The Life of Pi, which was a beautiful film, absolutely beautiful. You play the adult Pi, and you narrate the story. You've said previously that it wasn't an easy role, that it took time for that character to come to you. Why is that?
It was a challenging experience for everybody, I think. I think sometimes it's the director's energy which controls the creative force of the film. And I think for Ang Lee it was a very, very challenging film for any director, because that book is very difficult. It's unfilmable book. But you know, Ang Lee took that challenge head on. He said, I won't make this film, I'll make this film in 3D. You know.
An incredible interpretation.
And, yeah, and the kind of, you know, innovation he did in 3D as well, you know, that was, it's a new thing which you know, what he did with 3D. So that project itself was very challenging for everybody. And that's how the circumstances were. We shot the film with a particular actor, and then studio decided that, you know, we have to reshoot with, you know, and then again I had to reshoot the whole chunk of mine. So
that would have been challenging. Considering you probably thought you'd nailed it the first time, and then to have to replicate it the second time.
That was really challenging. For the first time, you know, when that emotional outburst towards the end, the film was depending on that. That was the climax of the film. There was no action, nothing. It was just that emotional, you know, revelation of the character was the climax of the film. So for the first time it was, you know, I enjoyed it. But then again, after 6-7 months, when Ang Lee said that, you know, we have to do this, so I asked Ang Lee, I asked him whether we could do the whole thing. You know, he said, are you sure about the climax scene, you know, emotional scene? I said, okay, I'll try. And he trusted me. He never, you know, asked me again whether, you know, we should take this risk or something. He said, okay, if you say so, we'll do the whole thing. And that was good, you know, I think it was.
Well, director Ang Lee is a huge fan of yours. He said that it was an obvious no-brainer to have you in the film. That he says, and I quote, "I needed a pretty brilliant actor. I was like, who else?" I mean, how does it feel to hear this praise and kudos?
I think Ang Lee has a great understanding of performance. He always raises the bar, and that's what actor is. You know, actor thinks when he casts you. So I don't know why he's saying these things about me. I don't think I'm